Um, Before I start, I will ask you one question. Do you have a book for Do you have a book for you? A book that when you read it, you become calm, relaxed, and it makes you feel comfortable. Maybe it teaches you the lesson that you need to hear. I think for most people, it is hard to find a book like this. I didn't have a book for me until I read the book Wonder by R.J. Palacio. I think this is a book for me which gave me a huge lesson. Perhaps some of you know this book, but most of you will not know this book. I will show you a trailer of the movie that was made based on this book so that you can briefly understand what it is about.
My name is Auntie Pullman. Next week, I start 5th grade. And since I've never been to middle school before, I'm pretty much totally petrified.
I'll see you later.
Okay, you don't want to walk up with your parents because it's not cool.
But you're cool.
I know I am, but technically most dads aren't. Neither are these helmets.
Dear God, please make them be nice dads.
I know I'm not an ordinary 10-year-old kid. I've had 27 surgeries. They told me to breathe, to see, to hear without a hearing aid, but none of them have made me look ordinary.
Incubator, Bunsen burners. Oh, and this is an eraser.
You know what an eraser is, right?
Look at his face. Never seen anything that ugly in my life. But I look like him.
As you can see in this video, the main character Augie has never been to school. Augie is not just an ordinary kid. He has had 27 surgeries on his face, and when he walks down the street, everybody watches him and whispers. Wonder is about how Augie overcome these situations. While I was reading this book, I thought it was too hard for 5th grader to endure. But I was surprised. Even though there was some misunderstandings between Augie and his friends, he eventually became the most popular kid in his school. All students are stressed about something, but I'll bet Augie was way more depressed than us when he didn't go to school and was getting negative attention from other people who didn't know. If we were in his shoes, we might think to give up. Augie had a different solution than us to overcome the problems and uncomfortable situations that he faced despite the problems in relationships between his friends and students who attend in his school. He always did his best until other people came to him. Before I read this book, I faced some hard times too. I felt the human relationships were too hard for me. I mostly wish that I don't have to come to school, which was impossible in Korea. I thought I will never understand how to overcome. After I read this book, I thought differently. I didn't deny that I am in a hard situation, which most people cannot overcome, but I changed my thinking a little. Maybe if I believe in myself more, I can overcome and find the way how to be happy. Also, while I was reading this book, I felt bad for his sister Olivia. The trailer doesn't mention her very well, but in this book, it describes his sister Olivia very well. Olivia never got a lot of attention from her parents because of Augie was always the main focus of her family. Her parents always had to take care of Augie. Even when Mom and Olivia was having just time for two of them, Augie needed his mom. I can't understand Olivia's feeling very well. She understands in her mind, but she couldn't understand in her heart. She never got attention since Augie was born, and that hurt her. I can relate to Olivia a little. It wasn't as serious as her situation, but I faced a similar problem when my brother was in the 3rd grade of the high school. He had to prepare for a big test at the end of the year. The Sunan is the biggest test that a high school student takes in Korea because it is the test that helps them to get into a university. Students will spend all their time and energy preparing for this test. I was only 13 when he was taking this test. I needed a lot of attention from my parents, but I couldn't. I always had to be quiet in the house because my brother was studying. My parents' focus was always on him, even though I needed them too. I was very upset at that time. I couldn't understand why I couldn't get a lot of attention, but it was still upsetting me. It was during that time that I read this book, and I kind of feel better because it showed me that I am not the only one who feels same emotions. This book gave me many things. It gave me a lesson, some solutions, and words of comfort. It wasn't just a book for me. I was glad that I could find a book that gives me me so much. I hope that you can find a book like this too. Thank you for listening.